Hello everyone, Siva here, founder of Lyzr, and welcome to another session of Agent Masterclass. So today I'm joined by a special guest who is an operator, who's a leader in the enterprise space, and she's here to speak about Agentic AI adoption and marketing. So I'm happy to welcome Menaka Thillaiampalam, an AI-first CMO who actually sets strategy, shapes narratives, and builds AI-enabled marketing teams, all the way from scaling startups to large enterprises. She's here to talk about how AI agents are becoming marketing's execution layer, right? All the way from compressing cycles, reducing handoffs, and turning insights into action. I've had pleasure of working with Menaka, who actually inspired us to build a practice around marketing AI agents. Welcome, Menaka. Welcome to the Agent Masterclass by Lyzr.
It's great to be here, Siva, and I'm happy to dive right in.
Fantastic. So I'm going to start with how, on the first place, you decided to build agents for marketing, right? Because it's not, the whole world is still trying to understand what agents are, how they could help teams, not just marketing, but HR and other functions. Having the first mover advantage is fantastic, but how did you decide that the agentic AI is ripe for adoption?
Yeah, so why agents and why now, right? I really hit the limits of the traditional MarTech. There were too many point tools and too much fragmentation. I'm also seeing that a lot of teams are drowning in manual work with not enough time for strategy or for creativity. And I truly see AI agents as the execution muscle that is turning insights into action. And I believe that AI agents will augment people rather than replacing them.
Okay, but deciding to adopt agents is one part of the problem, but the bigger problem is to understand how to bring them into marketing in the first place. So how did you decide about that? How did you choose the right swim lane to bring agents?
Yeah, so I would say that the problem wasn't necessarily a missing tool, but it was work happening in silos. That was the big trigger for me, right? And also the time that it was taking to create content or execute or build campaigns, right? And when I think about why I chose building out AI agents, right, was the agent platform lets you embed the automation where the work lives. So if you think about from the brief in one platform, you're putting the brief in, you're creating the asset, you're reviewing the asset, and you're shipping that final asset. And the marketing team, along with the SMEs or the other cross-functional teams, are working within one agent platform, right? And that also allows you to do a lot more customization rather than using Jasper or any of those other tools. This enables a lot more customization for us, right? And that shift, Siva, really cut, number one, the unnecessary handoffs, right, between the marketing team members or even the other cross-functional team members. Number two, it shortened the campaign cycles. And then number three, and most importantly, it surfaced better data in real time, right? So the win is not just about the speed. It's giving teams back time for strategy and creativity. That is where you're really starting to see the business impact show up, right? So that's the reason why I believe in bringing on the AI agents and the platform that it's providing to us.
This is fantastic, but this also opens up another big blocker that a lot of CMOs face, which is data readiness, right? Like we see CMOs giving excuses that, hey, my data is not ready. How do I get started? I'm going to wait out for another 6 months or 1 year, but the world is not going to wait. So how did you handle this? Did you had a similar problem?
Yes, of course I did, right? But listen, don't wait for the perfect data to get started, right? AI agents will surface the data gaps in real use rather than months of pre-cleaning, right? And this is where use will start to deliver value from day one and improve iteratively. So the mindset is really simple. Start with the agents and refine over time. There's never going to be a perfect time or perfect moment to, make the shift. But God, you don't want to miss the train completely either, right? You got to jump on to this new technology and really embed it in what you're doing and how you're thinking about going forward.
You know what, I must give you the credit, how you inspired us to solve this problem. So to the audience here, so when I was speaking with Menaka, we discussed this issue of data readiness and availability. Obviously, we started working on a few agents, but we still realized that there's a lot of data that are with the teams actually as tribal knowledge, and we wanted to bring it out. And we were brainstorming with Menaka, and we realized that, okay, what if we build an agent that can reach out to all the, say, project managers and subject matter experts in this large organization periodically, like every week, and collect information about the project, like a case study. It will just interview and collect the data, bring it back, it'll analyze, and it'll write into a central knowledge repository, thereby building all of the content in one single place, which ideally a human would do, or many humans would do, spending a lot of time following up. But now the agentic way of collecting information and building a central knowledge base is something that was inspired by my conversation with Menaka. Menaka, thanks to that, because it is now becoming a stable, to be honest. It is becoming a basics agent that everyone wants to use, irrespective of whether they have data or not. So that was definitely a massive addition to our marketing agents that we have at Lyzr.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we were able to build together the knowledge hub, right? I think that's really important, and continuously having that conversation with the cross-functional SMEs. And so you really start to understand that you're building your data like daily, weekly, right? And getting that information in, and it alleviates, the SMEs as well, because most of them are focused on clients, right? And they're billable, right? So to give them back time, it's not just marketing getting back time, but it's also the cross-functional partners that you're working with to create a lot of this assets and campaigns that you're doing, giving them back time. It also inspires them to come and work, strategically with the marketing to get a lot of content, asset, and campaigns out there in actually no time at all, right? So I'm glad that we were able to work on that together.
Absolutely. Now, this takes us to next problem, which is now you were one of the pioneers in this space to decide to go agentic all the way. You decided to build agents that are highly customized to your organization. You deploy teams, you encourage teams, but what was the operating model that you had? How did you track the development on a week-on-week basis? How did you get your teams to work on this? Can you walk us through that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, I started off with low risk, but high visibility pain points, right? So things like weekly reporting, competitive intelligence, because the quick wins, they build trust. So a small starter set of agents shows tangible value fast. So cycle times will start to shrink, the quality goes up. And from there, I expanded on a concentric circle. So think about marketing. You focused on the content ops, the campaign ops, SEO, GEO research. Then from there, we moved to sales and inside sales with outbound enrichment, account intelligence. And then from there, we went to customer experience, so those feedback loops. So once the teams really start to feel that they're getting back time, then these team members also start to pull for more agents, becomes a lot stronger than the push coming from, the senior leader, the CMO, or the marketing leader, right? And then I would also say the second and more important part is identifying team members, early adopters, whether they're your FTEs or within your agency ecosystem, who are keen to dive into building these AI agents and working with them, continuously, right? To help you build out the AI-enabled marketing engines, right? Because then you have a couple of your early adopter team members who are really engaging and building and adopting these AI agents, and the other team members who are a little bit reserved or shy to lean in, they start to see, wow, these team members who are leaning in, who are the champions of these, they're actually alleviating their everyday mundane work, and they are focused more on the higher, more fun, creative, strategic work, right? And then it kind of becomes like, hey, I want to have what she's having, right? It's kind of that mindset. And it also, it's important to keep the human in the loop, right? And you're bringing your team members along on the journey, so then the adoption of the agents will then be a lot more easier and faster, right? And they also feel like they have their fingerprints on building this AI agent platform, right? Which is something I think they can be extremely proud of, right? So it's more of a cultural shift as it is much as of a technological shift as well, right? So that's how I went about it.
I must also give a lot of credit to you, the way you encourage the team. I was literally witnessing that. And like you said, the FOMO kicks in, right? Like folks who are not adopting, the FOMO kicks in. They're like, what, I'm missing the action, I want to get in. And when they start tasting what this could do, their chemicals start kicking in their brain. They say, I want to build more. So I think a lot of credit goes to the leader as well, because if you do not make it a mandate, if you do not make it a way of life in the organization and the team, then it doesn't move. So full marks on that. This takes us to another interesting place. So what does the role of CMO look like as we head into this agentic AI automation? What would be one or two short pieces of advice that you want to give to the other fellow CMOs watching this?
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, I mean, all my CMOs, we know that our role as a CMO is completely changing, but on every single front. But in this particular context, I would say the CMO is shifting from being a tool operator to an AI orchestrator, right? And we really need to blend creativity and storytelling with automation literacy, right? So teams now expect the CMOs to lead the AI-first change across the organization, right? Yeah, and I would also say, listen, the evolution of the CMO also requires change management. you also need experimentation cadence, and you need practical AI literacy, right? So really focus on the quick wins and build momentum and belief, right? Not only within your team, but also the cross-functional teams. And use agents to free up people to do higher value strategies. And as I mentioned earlier, remember that adoption is as much cultural as it is also technological as well.
Now, the other big question the CMOs obviously ask us, all right, you did this, you initiated the agentic AI adoption, you rallied the team, you got agents out of the box and they're working for you. So what's the ROI look like? How do you measure the ROI from these agentic adoption?
Yeah, I would say there are a few outcomes that I've seen, right? Number one is the measurable productivity uplift, right? Number two is faster cycle times for campaigns. And number three is improved cross-team alignment, and I've mentioned that earlier as well. And finally, there's stronger visibility with leadership as they view marketing as a driver of AI adoption, right? So those are the things across the board that I have seen as the ROI for implementing AI agents.
I think you are being humble. I would want to add a few more. So with what Menaka did in the marketing team, we actually had other departments reach out saying, you know what, I want the same. Like I think from the project management team and the pre-sales teams, they reached out. You were actually inspiring a lot of other functional leaders within the organization to give them a way that, you know what, this is how I did. Why don't you try? So that was number one. And the other thing is human team, we always have insecurities. Okay, you know what, am I being replaced with AI agents? But actually that's not what we saw. What we saw in your scenario was, and I don't think the work really went down. It's just the quality and the pace at which the team was moving really went up. And over a period of time, the team settled down when they realized that, you know what, agentic AI is here to support me, not replace me. So the ROI is measured in more than one way, like you highlighted. It is also inspiring the whole organization to become agent first. And I think you played a fantastic role in that. Now that takes us to the last part. If you had to paint a picture of what your marketing arc would look like in 2 years from now, with all the agents operating and working along humans, what would it look like?
Well, I can't wait for that to happen. I think it's exciting because, and I think, we as CMOs really need to position this as being more of a time liberation for our team members, right? And helping them elevate what they're focused on, more strategic initiatives, right? And I see that campaign operations largely will be automated end to end, right? Which is really exciting because that's a big lift for us currently. Experiences will be hyper-personalized at scale. And finally, I also see CMOs will operate as enterprise-wide AI agent change agents. Right? So that's sort of where I see the future of where we're going from a CMO perspective and how much impact that we can drive, not only for our own organization, but then across the board for the business as well and other functions that we can influence too.
Would it be fair to say that you expect all your team members also have the know-how of building agents? Like they should also know how to build and manage agents?
Oh, absolutely. I think that moving forward, every team member, and I think that's going to be a requirement that you see in today and future JDs, right? When you're looking for your next opportunity, right? That is going to be a requirement, I believe, right? That's certainly a requirement that I would have for my own team members as well. And if you don't have those requirements today, I mean, just to learn, and that curiosity, just having curiosity and learning about the new technology, I think is such a huge step in moving forward and what we're going to be looking for from other marketing teams. And I think all functions across an organization are going to be expecting that as well, right? So I don't think it's just towards marketing, but I've had such a great experience working with your organization and your team members, and bringing this in, because it can be quite scary when you think, oh my God, AI agents, are really disrupting the marketing function. Absolutely, right? But you made it so easy for us to understand and work together, right? And I'm really excited to continue the path forward, right? So thank you for also working with me. So, and I hope that this conversation also inspires other CMOs and other functional leaders to get on this AI agent platform. I think it's incredible.
Absolutely. To all the CEOs and the CMOs out there, I can easily say that Menaka was one of the very first CMOs to go all in with agentic AI. That's not easy. You can definitely reach out to Menaka to understand her experience and what are the pitfalls and how did she manage it. And you can also reach out to me and I'll connect with Menaka as well. Menaka, again, thanks for joining the Agent Masterclass by Lyzr, because we really wanted to do this. We really wanted to help the world understand what really goes behind the scenes when you decide to build 18 marketing agents to automate your marketing functions. We'll definitely do a lot more, but this is fantastic having you on the pod, and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Thanks, Siva. It was a fantastic experience. Thank you.
Build safe and responsible agents. Introducing Lyzr,